Okay, let's talk about what's happening in the Indian IT sector right now, because it is a huge deal. We're talking about a massive shakeup involving layoffs, AI, and a deep, fundamental shift that has everyone from new grads to senior VPs asking one really important question.
Look, for decades, we've seen tech come and go, right? New technologies pop up, the workforce adapts, and the industry just keeps rolling along. But this feels different. The layoffs aren't just hitting the usual spots. They're climbing the ladder, hitting the middle and even the top. So what on earth is actually going on?
So let's dive into the news that really kicked this whole conversation into high gear. Because what we're seeing, it's not just another dip in the market. It's something much, much deeper. The actual rules of the game are changing.
Right. So you hear 2% and you might think, okay, that's not a huge number. But here's the thing. The real story is in who is being let go. It's the experienced, often higher paid, middle and senior managers. And this isn't just about one company. It's a flare going up, signaling a major course correction for the entire industry.
And this, right here, is the absolute key to why this time is so different. In the past, when new tech came along, companies would retrain their people. They'd reskill them. The work changed, sure, but the workforce itself didn't just shrink. Now? Well, now, for the very first time, we have generative AI directly reducing the amount of human work needed. This isn't a transition, it's a reduction.
So, why is AI going after this middle layer with such precision? Well, the answer is kind of baked into the way we've been building software for decades. Think about it. For a computer to understand what we want, it used to be this whole complicated translation process. Down at the very bottom, you have the raw machine language, just ones and zeros. Way up at the top, you have human-friendly code like Python or Java. But in between, you needed this whole layer of translators, things called compilers and assemblers. And that middle layer, man, that took a lot of people to manage.
And then bam! This quote from Sandeep Tandon just nails it. AI didn't just make the old way a little better, it created a revolutionary shortcut. It's like it built a superhighway that goes directly from our natural language to what the machine needs to know. That whole journey just got incredibly short.
So the new path is just radically simpler. That entire middle layer, the whole world of managers overseeing those complex translations, is suddenly being automated away. When the AI can write the code, debug it, and optimize it all on its own, that layer of human supervision starts to look, well, pretty redundant. You know, one expert put it in a really blunt way, but it kind of makes perfect sense. He said the middle of the pyramid, or as he called it, the tummy, had gotten a little fat. And now AI is forcing these companies to basically go to the gym and trim that fat. It's harsh, for sure, but it perfectly explains who's feeling the squeeze right now. Now, this whole shakeup goes way beyond just jobs. It's actually rewriting the investment rules for one of India's most critical sectors. So if you're an investor or you're just curious about where the money is flowing, you're going to want to hear this. I mean, for years, you could basically set your watch to it. Big Indian IT companies delivered 15% growth year in, year out. It was an engine. But take a look at the new projections. With AI making things more efficient and global demand slowing, that growth is now forecast to be around 4%. That's not just a slowdown. That's like hitting a wall. And that changes everything for an investor. Large cap IT just isn't that high growth story anymore. It's turning into a defensive play, a stock you own for its stability and its dividends. So you got to shift your mindset, right? It's less high-flying tech rocket and more, well, a stable utility company. Predictable, but don't expect it to shoot for the moon. And here's a really interesting twist. In just about every past downturn, the giants, your TCS, your Infosys, they always led the recovery. This time, the smart money is on the opposite happening. The smaller and mid-sized IT firms are expected to bounce back faster. Why? Well, they're just leaner. They have less of that fat tummy we talked about, so they can adapt to this new reality a lot more quickly.
So a fair question to ask is, okay, why don't these companies just innovate more? Why not build the next big thing and escape this trap? Well, the answer to that really pulls back the curtain on a tough spot these companies are in, especially in the Indian market.
Just look at this comparison from 2021. It's staggering. A product company like NVIDIA spent $5 billion on R&D. A services giant like TCS, less than $500 million. it's not because they don't have the money. So, what gives?
And there's your answer. It's the market mindset. For many investors in India, R&D spending isn't seen as an investment in the future. It's seen as just lesser profit today. So you announce a big, bold push into R&D, and what happens? Your stock might actually get punished for it. That creates a huge pressure to focus on short-term profits instead of long-term innovation.
As we start to wrap this up, it is so important to understand one thing. Everything we've talked about so far, the layoffs, the automation, the new investment rules, this is just the warm-up act. This is the very beginning of a much, much bigger revolution.
To really get what's coming, think of it like this. The AI we have today, that's just the first page of a very thick book. The whole book is something called Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. That's AI that can reason, learn, and do pretty much any intellectual task a human can, automating not just code, but discovery, logistics, and even scientific research itself.
All of which brings us to one final, and I think critical question. As AI gets better and better and starts automating not just the simple stuff, but the complex stuff too, what's left for us? As it hollows out that middle, what uniquely human skills in things like strategy, real creativity, and leadership will be the things that define the top? In a world where machines can do almost anything, our value will come from that one thing that makes us, human.